Joining us now in a case that could have nationwide implications for how we vote across the country. The ruling has focused on two different cases, one in Wisconsin, one in Michigan. Pete Williams is there. So, Pete, break down what the ruling is and what it means.
One in Wisconsin, one in Maryland. And this was the claim that when state legislatures redraw the boundaries for congressional or state legislative districts, is it possible to be so partisan that it violates the Constitution? And today, the Supreme Court declined to answer that question. So for at least 15 or 20 years, opponents of what they call partisan gerrymandering have been trying to get the Supreme Court to say that just as it's possible to be racially discriminatory and violate the Constitution in redistricting, so it's possible to be unconstitutional if you're excessively partisan and you rig the game so that the minority party can never get a majority and never get a seat or in the Congress or the state legislature beyond those that they already have safely. And once again today, the Supreme Court in two separate decisions, one involving a statewide challenge to redistricting in Wisconsin, one involving a challenge to a specific congressional district in Maryland, the court has declined to answer that question. Now, for different reasons. In the Wisconsin case, they say that the challengers here don't meet the legal test for being able to bring a case in federal court because they're voters from all over the state and they don't necessarily live in the districts that they're challenging. So for that reason, they say, well, they just don't have the standing. In the Maryland case, they basically decline to engage on the merits of the case. They simply say that an injunction issued by the lower court will stand. So it's a big defeat for people who were hoping that this term would be the one where the Supreme Court would actually engage on this issue of partisan gerrymandering. Now, why is it important? Because the challengers say with the use of computers and sociological scientific technology, we've gotten to the point now where people elected to Congress and legislatures are choosing their voters instead of voters choosing their elected representatives, that they engineer the districts so that they remain permanently safe for the majority party. They sort of jam all the minority party opponents into as small a number of districts as they can and then spread the rest out so they can never get a critical mass. This is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, we still don't know whether Justice Anthony Kennedy, who has been among the conservatives the most potentially receptive to this claim, whether he's going to stay on the court for another term when the challengers could perhaps try this again. But clearly, it was obvious from when both these cases were argued that the justices are just not comfortable that gerrymandering is an essentially partisan task, and the courts don't like to second-guess political partisan issues. So the challenge for the challengers was to come up with a test that the justices could apply. Well, it's obvious that they didn't find a test that a majority of the justices are comfortable with. Now, in the Wisconsin case, the dissenters say, suggest some ideas that could be used in the future. But for now, the Supreme Court is not going to engage on this issue of partisan gerrymandering. And so for the next census, probably, certainly the next couple of years, state legislatures will be free to do what they've always done, which is be hyper-partisan in how they draw the lines.
And Pete, quickly before I let you go, we are getting to mid-June. We are getting toward the end, obviously, of the Supreme Court term, and there's still one big outstanding case that we haven't heard about regarding the president's travel ban, right? Timing could be sometime in the next week and a half, right?
Yeah, my guess is that, because it was the last case argued this term, we'll get it on the last day.
Got it.
And my guess would be that'll be sometime maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
Pete Williams there outside the Supreme Court. Pete, thank you for breaking down what can be a complicated case. Much appreciated. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.